Everyone, let's start with a new topic, trends in primate radiation. So primate radiation refers to the evolutionary process by which primates diversified and evolved into different forms. As of anthropological significance, primate radiation it provides a biological framework to understand how human evolved and how adaptation like bipedalism, tool use, brain expansion, stereoscopic vision, reduced olfaction, all of them they evolved in a piecemeal manner. I mean, it also highlights the role of environment in shaping primate anatomy. Now, as of origin of primates, so it is believed that primates likely evolved from early mammalian ancestor during the late Cretaceous or early Paleocene epochs, and they were small and arboreal. Now, let's understand what these terms are, what these terms in Earth's geological history are. So ये समझने के लिए we have to go deeper and look at the whole evolutionary history. So Earth formed around 4.6 billion years ago. और जो geological timeline है, it goes like this. सबसे पहले super eons है. Then super eons, they are divided into eons. Eons are divided into eras. Eras are divided into epochs. So this is how the whole geological history goes on. Now, from 4.6 billion to 541 million years ago, the supereon was Precambrian. फिर उसके बाद from 541 million years to the present, the second supereon it is known as Cambrian one or Phanerozoic. Phanerozoic eon. Now this Phanerozoic eon it is divided into three eras: Paleozoic, Mesozoic and Cenozoic. जैसे eons era में divide है तो Phanerozoic eon जो है it is divided into Paleozoic, Mesozoic, Cenozoic. जो Mesozoic है it started around 252 million years ago and ended around 66 million years ago. फिर Mesozoic के जो epochs हैं Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous. फिर Cretaceous it ended around 66 million years ago और उसके साथ ही Cenozoic eon Cenozoic era स्टार्ट हो गया. अब Cenozoic के भी डिफरेंट पार्ट्स हैं, डिफरेंट epochs हैं. इट स्टार्टेड विद Paleogene जिसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. तो this Mesozoic era it ended with Cretaceous or the Cenozoic era it started with Paleocene, and that's where the boundary lies. KPG extinction event, that is Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event around 66 million years ago, क्योंकि ये boundary जो है Cretaceous और Paleogene के बीच में it lies around 66 million years ago. और इस time पे this extinction event it led to the extinction of dinosaurs, avian and non-avian dinosaurs. तो यहाँ पे ये जो extinct हो गए, इसी के साथ जो much needed adaptive space है, much needed adaptive niche, it was acquired by the mammalian. और इस adaptive niche की वजह से mammalian found the much needed space to grow and evolve. Then again, 66 million years ago is also the time when Indian plate collided with the Eurasian plate by which subducted and compressed Tethys Sea, which led to formation of the Himalayas. So एक extra information है. Now coming back to the topic, the key trait developed early on during primate evolution. First, prehensile hands or grasping hands and feet that allowed for better movements among branches. क्योंकि जो early evolution है, it was arboreal. Arboreal means the tree-based lifestyle. जो early primates हैं, they were living in trees. Now the second evolution is forward-facing eyes that provided stereoscopic vision. Stereoscopic vision. So stereoscopic vision का concept ये है, like जो जो बाकी quadrupedals हैं, they have eyes that are placed in sidewise. So वहाँ पे उनको एक उनके जो ब्रेन को एक पर्टिकुलर आई से एक ही तरह की इमेज मिलती है. देयर इज नो कोऑर्डिनेशन बिटवीन टू आईज. लेकिन फॉरवर्ड प्लेसमेंट की वजह से देयर इज अ कोऑर्डिनेशन दैट इट प्रोवाइड अ ट्रायंगुलर विजन. वो कैसे कि यहाँ पे जो एक ऑब्जेक्ट है, अब जो लेफ्ट आई है उसको इससे इमेज, इस ऑब्जेक्ट से इमेज मिल ही रही है, बट राइट आई को भी इस ऑब्जेक्ट से एक इमेज प्रोवाइड होती है. फिर राइट कॉर्नर में कोई ऑब्जेक्ट है, it provides images to not only the right eye but also the left eye. So यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं there is an overlapping field of vision. So this overlapping field of vision, it provide clear and well analyzed images along with an overlapping field that provide depth perception. Depth perception means see uh, to see far away places, to see in depth, to see deeply. Then the second evolution was reduced sense of smell. So बाकी जितने भी quadrupedals हैं, they rely more on olfaction. Olfaction means the system that give prominence to smell. So जो बाकी quadrupedals हैं उनका एक well developed protruding muzzle है, और फिर उनका जो ओल्फैक्टरी नर्व्स हैं वो भी वेट रहती है बिकॉज इट इज़ हाईली डेवलप्ड सिस्टम. बट प्राइमेट्स की बात करें तो जब स्टीरियोस्कोपिक विजन आया एंड आईज वर प्लेस इन फॉरवर्ड, तो यहाँ पे विजन बिकेम मोर इम्पॉर्टेंट. सो धीरे धीरे जो ऑल्फैक्शन है इस पर रिलायंस कम होता गया, तो जो मजल है उसका शेप भी कम होता गया. जैसे इसलिए आप जब प्राइमेट्स में एवोल्यूशन देखेंगे तो जो अर्लीस्ट प्राइमेट्स हैं उनसे लेकर जो मॉडर्न प्राइमेट्स हैं उनके अंदर देयर इज अ ग्रेजुअल रिडक्शन ऑफ मसल. Then the third adaptation was increased brain size. So this provided for better motor coordination and problem solving. Now the earliest example, Purgatorius, an early primate-like mammal from about 66 million years ago that show basic arboreal adaptation. So this Purgatorius might be the ancestor of all the primate stock that we see today. And 66 year, as I have told you, this is the boundary of KPG event, Cretaceous Paleogene period. Now let's have a look at first major radiation, early arboreal adaptation in Eocene epoch around 55 to 34 million years ago. अब ये रेडिएशन के बारे में पढ़ने से पहले लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट दिस टर्म Eocene epoch, क्योंकि अभी हमने जियोलॉजिकल टाइमलाइन देखी है. सो the Cenozoic era, it started around 66 million years ago with the period Paleogene. Paleogene period है, and then Paleogene period, it is divided into three subperiods: Paleocene, Eocene, एंड ओलिगोसीन. तो ये आप देख सकते हैं कि इस टाइम पे वैसे ही जो डायनासोर्स हैं एक्सटिंक्ट हो गए, तो हमें मच नीडेड स्पेस मिल गया. सो इसके बाद पैलियोजेन पीरियड में धीरे धीरे मैमल्स इवॉल्व होने शुरू हुए, एंड ईओसीन इपॉक जो है ये इसी पैलियोजेन पीरियड का सेकेंड पार्ट है, सेकेंड इवेंट आफ्टर पैलियोसीन. So during the Eocene epoch, Earth's climate was warm and wet, क्योंकि this period also coincided with interglacial period. And जिनको पता नहीं है, Earth जो है it cyclically goes into a period of or alternative of a cycle of glacial and interglacial ages. Glacial plus interglacial ages, और ये cycle जो है ये शुरू से चल रही है. अब इस cycle में the glacial period, it is when the whole or a major part of earth is covered with snow. फिर उसके बाद दे कम्स इंटरग्लेशियल पीरियड, जब यही स्नो है बिकॉज ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग टेम्परेचर इट इज़ थॉ, ये पिघल जाती है, एंड हियर कम्स द वार्म एंड वेट फेज. तो अभी जो हम जो है वो एक इंटरग्लेशियल पीरियड में चल रहे हैं. सो ड्यूरिंग दैट epoch, the Earth was covered with dense tropical forests across continent. So here the key evolutionary advances for stereoscopic vision, when both the eyes were placed forward that allowed better judgment of distance that was critical for leaping between branches, which is also called the depth perception. And I have already elaborated the mechanism how the forward placement of eyes provide for a stereoscopic or overlapping field of vision. And the second advance was the evolution of nails instead of claws. So this presence of nail, it enhance tactile sensitivity for grabbing branches and food, because by this time we started living more on trees. Our lifestyle was more arboreal, and क्लॉ जो है उस उनकी पर्टिकुलर एज सच कोई यूटिलिटी नहीं थी. सो ये आप जानते हैं कि इवोल्यूशनरी लैंडस्केप में if something is not used for a long time, if something doesn't have any utility, then its place will be acquired by, or its place will be given to something else. So जो पहले जो clause थे, because we are also part of animal kingdom, लेकिन धीरे धीरे because of variation, selection and then adaptation, जो हमारा जो स्टॉक है इसमें clause धीरे धीरे reduce हो गए, because here the clause were necessary where there is a close combat between predators and prey. तो हमारे केस में तो ऐसा था नहीं, especially in our arboreal setting, and we were living in totally different lifestyle. So ऐसे में जो claws हैं they gave way to nails, और इन्हीं nails की वजह से जो tactile sensitivity है especially to grab branches it increased. Then longer digits that improve prehensility or grasping ability. Then the final adaptation was small, lightweight bodies that were ideal for agile arboreal life. So all of these evolution they were centered around the arboreal life. Now important groups during that time: first, adapiforms that resemble modern lemurs and they adapted for arboreal herbivory. Arboreal means tree-based life and herbivory means plant-based diet. Then the second group was oomammiforms, which was small nocturnal insectivorous primates, possibly related to modern tarsiers. So nocturnal means those animal that are active during night, और जो डे में एक्टिव रहता है, स्पेशली अस और बहुत सारे एनिमल्स जो हैं दे आर नोन एज डायर्नल. So the oomammiforms they were nocturnal. Then insectivorous means they used to eat insects. And then the resemblance is to the tarsiers that we see today. फिर lemurs और tarsier ये आप बाद में भी देखेंगे कि they are considered the one of the species or one of the specific ancestor of modern primate. Now the value addition. So fossil from places like Masselpit, Germany, they reveal incredibly detailed remains of early Eocene primates. One such primate is Darwinius massili, nicknamed Ida, that a famous fossil that represent early primate feature. So एक बार इसके बारे में बात कर लेते हैं, ईडा के बारे में. This complete fossil was found around 47 million years ago during the same uh, Eocene epoch, and it was a small size, small like a cat, likely ate fruits, herbivorous diet pattern, and mostly arboreal. So these were the features that we have found so far. Now let's have a look at second major radiation. So the second major radiation is about Strepsirrhines and haplorhines played around Oligocene epoch from 34 to 23 million years ago. So ये भी जो है ये Cenozoic era का ही part है. So here Earth's climate became cooler and drier, causing changes in primate evolution. So here two major lineages evolved. First, Strepsirrhine, which means wet-nosed primate, that include lemurs from Madagascar, lorises, and galapagos. Second feature, they retain primitive traits like strong olfaction and nocturnal habits. Then they use dental comb for grooming. Example, lemur kata or ring-tailed lemur. Then the second group was haplorhine, also known as dry-nosed primates, that include modern monkeys, apes, and humans. It is this group that later developed larger brains, better vision, and complex social behavior, and they shifted mostly to diurnal or daytime activity. A key fossil locality, so the Fayum Depression in Egypt, here fossil like Egyptopithecus, they show early haplorhine features. क्योंकि Egyptopithecus है that gave way to Dryopithecus and Australopithecines, सब के सब जो हैं they were derived from the haplorhines. Significance of this split, that this split formed the basis of modern primate classification and the haplorhine would later give rise to humans. वो कैसे है वो भी देख लिया हमने. Now let's talk about third major radiation, that is the divergence between New World and Old World monkeys from late Oligocene to early Miocene, और अभी भी हम Cenozoic में ही है. So, when primates started dispersing geographically, two distinct evolutionary lines developed. First, New World monkeys, known as platyrhines, they moved to South America, possibly floating on vegetation mats, and they developed adaptation like prehensile tail for hanging. An example like howler monkeys, spider monkeys, capuchins. Then the Old World monkeys, which stayed in Africa and Asia, they have narrow nostril, no prehensile tails, and they became both arboreal and terrestrial. Example baboons, macaque, जो यहाँ पे इंडिया में भी जो जितनी monkey species देखते हैं, all of them they belong to old world monkeys. So here adaptation, the new world monkeys that shifted to South America, they remain largely arboreal, whereas the old world monkey they adapted to both forest and open grasslands. Now let's have a look at fourth major radiation that led to evolution of apes during early to mid Miocene from 23 to 5 million years ago. So this period is also called the golden age of apes because of their flourishing diversity. The key evolutionary changes during this period. First is loss of tail. So ape they developed larger bodies and more flexible shoulders for brachiation. Brachiation means by swinging upon the branches of tree. Then the second change was increase in brain size. That that was early sign of higher intelligence. ये चीज़ जो है ये चिंपैंजीज के अंदर, गोरिल्लाज के अंदर, orangutan, bonobos, सब के अंदर ये चीज़ है that most of the ape species they started showing signs of higher intelligence or brain expansion. And third change was diverse dietary adaptation because their teeth they adapted to various diets, fruit, leaves, mostly herbivorous, but sometimes omnivorous as well. Now, the notable fossil first is preconsul from Africa that bridge the gap between monkeys and apes. The second, Dryopithecus, which was found in Europe. It was a fruit-eating ape and possibly linked to modern great apes. And then Shivapithecus and Ramapithecus that are ancestor of modern orangutan और Shivapithecus, Ramapithecus दोनों जो है वो उनके fossils इंडिया में ही मिले हैं. Now decline. So by the late Miocene, many ape species declined due to cooling climate and shrinking forest. Now let's have a look at fifth major radiation that led to evolution of early human from late Miocene to Pliocene around 7 to 5 million years ago. So this stage marks the divergence of hominin, human ancestor, from apes. So you must remember that the hominin species, hominins means most of the species that resemble human, especially the bipedals, that started with Australopithecus, then traversed through Homo habilis, Homo erectus, various anatomically modern Homo sapiens, and finally culminated in Homo sapiens. So all of these they are known as hominins, where hominins plus apes they are known as hominids. So it is around 7 to 5 million years ago. It's average around 6 million years ago that there is a divergence between hominin and other ape species. Now, the key adaptation of divergence, first bipedalism, and walking on two legs evolved to move efficiently, reduction in canine size because uh, first here the reduction in canine size is because of two reasons. First, reduce olfaction. So olfaction system reduce होने से muzzle reduce होगा, muzzle reduce होने से canine reduce होएगा. And second was our omnivorous diet, क्योंकि canine स्पेशली the teeth for tearing flesh वो तभी यूज होंगे जब we any particular species it rely more on animal flesh. लेकिन हमारी जो डाइट है स्पेशली शुरू से प्राइमेट इवोल्यूशन में देखा है कि मोस्ट ऑफ देम दे वर लिविंग ऑन ट्रीज एंड वर हार्बीवोरस. तो पर्टिकुलरली शुरू से ही हार्बीवोरस डाइट रही, हार्बीवोरस प्लस ओमनीवोरस. And then till Australopithecines, most of them were herbivorous. But Australopithecus के time से the major adaptation was the shift from herbivorous to omnivorous diet that provided a survival advantages to us कि फिर किसी भी situation में किसी भी environmental condition में we can survive. So omnivorous diet के कारण भी the canine they reduce in size. So this reduction in canine size also decreased aggression and increased social cooperation, which later formed the foundation upon which all such societies and civilization built. And the third adaptation was brain expansion that enabled tool use, language, and complex social life. Here, major fossils. First, Sahelanthropus chadensis around 7 million years ago, which is the specimen of earliest known hominin, which show early signs of bipedality. And the second fossil was Australopithecus afarensis, also known as Lucy, which was found around 3.2 million years ago. Uh, it was the first recognized or first scientifically tested fossil of early bipedal ancestor. Now the environmental pressure. So here, shrinking forest and expanding grassland, it forced primate to adapt to new niches, and that's where the major divergence and evolution of hominins it got progressed. Thus, the path to humanity was paved by a combination of biological innovation and environmental challenges. Now, the factors that influence primate radiation first, the environmental shift. So, climate change it altered habitats, led to adaptation between bipedalism to open savanna. क्योंकि जो प्राइमेट के इवोल्यूशन की बात करते हैं फ्रॉम 66 मिलियन ईयर्स अगो टू द फर्स्ट बाइपेडल लूसी अराउंड 3.2 million years ago. इस पूरे टाइम में it was a time of 63 million years. और इस पूरे टाइम में whole evolutionary saga it was going on with different and nerve shattering environmental challenges. जैसे जो ग्लेशियल और इंटरग्लेशियल की बात करें, so the the earliest primate they went into the glacial. Then most of the intermediate primates they evolved during interglacial. Then again, most of the earliest hominids they evolved during the glacial period. Then finally, we are in the interglacial period. So that was the changing the drama of environmental changes that we went through, and that's how these environmental changes pushed the the evolutionary direction, the evolutionary radiation in particular direction. Then the second factor that influenced primate evolution was continental drift, wherein the breaking up of continent it led to geographical isolation and independent evolution. As I told you, 66 million years ago, it was also the time when Indian plate collided with the Eurasian plate. And it was also the time that when the Indian plate, which was part of the Indo-Australian plate, Indo-Australian plate, along with other plates, they were also dispersing, they were floating freely throughout the world, throughout the water bodies, or here they kept drifting. So this breaking up of continent, it provided much needed evolutionary advantage much needed backdrop for speciation, क्योंकि पिछले वीडियोस में देखा है कि speciation it happens when a particular species or particular group it isolate itself and found itself in a new geographical condition. तो यहाँ पे ये जितने भी देख रहे हैं आप, Strepsirrhines, haplorhines, platyrrhines, old world monkeys, new world monkeys, so ये जितने भी divergence और evolution है या speciation events हैं, all of them happen because of this isolation of smaller populations. The third factor was dietary specialization. So different species adapted to available food that influenced dental and digestive evolution. So as I have said, most of the early primates they were of herbivorous, क्योंकि पहले ही पेड़ों पे रहे हैं, living in arboreal lifestyle. But the major breakthrough came along with the evolution of Australopithecus, and here this this ancestor, this species, it did shift from dietary specialization to dietary generalization. And this generalization, which means omnivory, it provided much needed space for a much needed um, survival nutrition during tough times. Then the next factor, predation pressure. So here, better vision, group living, and increased intelligence, it helped primates survive predators. Fifth factor, social behavior evolution. Here, living in social group, it enhanced cooperation, communication, development of languages. This ensured survival, which ensured evolution. So the social behavior, जिसमें हम आज भी रह रहे हैं in communities, it has been a part of our legacy since these primates. Then the next factor, locomotion innovation. So here, from brachiation, quadrupedalism to eventually from habitual bipedalism to bipedalism. All these innovations, they provided new ecological opportunities for us to survive. And in the next video, we are going to talk about primate classification. So this is it, and subscribe to the channel. कोई क्वेश्चन है तो कमेंट बॉक्स में पूछिए.